listening to the No Labels, No Limits podcast with best-selling author Sarah Box, where you get the inside scoop on the steps action takers and decision makers take to align their purpose to their principles and achieve their goals in business and life. We focus on the mantra, no labels, no limits, no excuses. And now, without further ado, please welcome your commanding coach with plenty of chutzpah and heart, Sarah Box.
Hey there, it's Sarah, and I want to welcome you personally to this very special edition of the No Labels, No Limits podcast. This is a new series that we just started, and we are so excited to introduce you to Moments with Maria. This series is a shorter version of the podcast. Maria touches upon words of advice and wisdom and encouragement that are shared by the members of our community, for the members of our community, and to all of you beyond. So without further ado, let's welcome Maria.
Hello and welcome. My name is Maria Lees, and I am the content writer for Team Sarah Box. And this is another one of our videos in our series in which different members of our Sarah Box community are sitting down with me to share just a little bit of wisdom, encouragement, advice, just some goodness that they have to offer our community today. And today, I have the pleasure of chatting with Marina Ridge. Marina offers us a unique perspective. She is a coach. She's got a background in restaurants, in color consulting, and so many different things. And I'm excited to hear what she has to share today. Marina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Bonjour, Maria. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Yes.
We are excited to have you. Now, would you mind just starting by telling us just a little bit more about yourself and the work that you do?
So I am a confidence and luxury living coach. My expertise is in image consulting with Parisian lifestyle. So I help women in business and career to improve their image, and so they can go out there and look like the resume that they have. Because most of the time they have a great resume, but they don't look like the resume that they have. So I help them bring out the best in their image and confidence as well. Yes.
Well, that's lovely. I know that's something that, all of us is so important for everybody, just to kind of have that outward expression of what is on the inside, because it just kind of, it helps to communicate a message.
Yes. And Parisian style has been used for, many years in Europe, and because it was the way to go, the way of the royal. And so that's what I offered, Parisian style, because many people ask, but why Parisian style? But because Parisian style is actually the best. Everyone, usually they used to be like, okay, what are they wearing in Paris? I want to know, right? Because that's where, the way of the royal and the bourgeois. And so that's why.
Absolutely. I am by no means a fashion or style expert, but even I know that French fashion is just different than anywhere else. That's wonderful. All right, Marina. Well, I know you've come with some thoughts and tips for us today, all about how we can protect our minds from stress and anxiety through living a Parisian lifestyle. And I have to say, I'm intrigued. I'm excited to hear what you have to share.
So I like to share about, first of all, media, right? There is a lot media going on right now, a lot of news and social media as well. So I'm offering to take a break, right? People are not taking breaks. Like there is an overuse of media in general, and also of social media. We always constantly on social media, constantly posting, and we also love having all these likes and all this love so that they be getting set. But then after that, we're so exhausted, and we don't even check the amount of time we are in social media. So we can be there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. An hour is actually nothing. Most people spend more than an hour. So I am offering them to take a break, take a week off your social media, and just see how you feel. And, I've tried it, and I'm, talking about it because, I was also exhausted with, all this information. There is definitely an information overload when you just think about how, before the internet, everyone was using the newspaper or just the media itself, right? But even then, it was already a little bit overwhelming if you were like watching your TV all day long. That's another thing too. Don't watch your TV all day long. Don't leave it open all day long. Always, have it turned off. And that's how you live Parisian lifestyle, because in France, people don't have their TV all day long. No one actually does that. We have programs like, you usually get the program of the channel that you like to follow, and you know exactly when they have news. So the news is not in loop. Recently, yes, there is like new internet media that has come up in, because they're trying to kind of copy the American thing of having always being on a go with the news and always making sure you know everything by the minute. But still, the French, they know that, when it's time for the news, like, okay, for example, 8 o'clock, for say the big news, night news, right? And then in the morning, it's usually the kids that really watch the TV, not even the adults. The kids are watching. They're like animes and things like that. Mm-hmm. But then the adult is usually the newspaper in the morning, and then after that at 1 there is the news. So usually you kind of wait until 1 for the news. It's usually like that. But unless you want to know it in the morning, you get the newspaper. So I'm offering them to kind of start looking at how they're watching the news. If they're watching it all day, maybe try watching it 3 times a day. In the morning,
back a little bit. Yeah.
Back like an hour in the morning, an hour in the mid-afternoon or afternoon, lunchtime, I would say, and then dinner, and then it's off.
Yeah.
And then you go and watch whatever else, because there is so much amount of news, you will never know everything. It's just not possible. There is just too much news. You could stay awake all day, every day, for the whole week, but it will never happen. You will never know everything.
Absolutely. And for so many of us, we can have the news on or social media pulled up all day long, and it's not new information. It's the same stuff, just, being said over and over again, which
it's on loop, right?
Yeah.
It's like studying, kind of,
Absolutely. It's kind of like, do we need to hear the same thing 6 times in the same day? Probably not. We probably could do what you're saying and pull back and have a boundary. Absolutely.
Yeah. And French has lived like that. They're still alive. So,
That's
try.
True.
You have nothing to lose. So that's my my one advice for the media. And then there is also another thing I'd like to share about a plant that's revered by French people. And that's another way that they use to help stress and anxiety. And this one plant, I'd like to talk about it because I'm a certified culinary art French chef. And so I'd like to know, because I use this plant myself. I use it in cooking. And so I'd like to, offer to your listener as well.
Yeah.
And it has a relaxing quality. It has a pleasant scent to it. It has also a myriad important benefits, such as the ability to relieve stress, It can also improve mood. It can promote restful sleep, and also stomach bloating, for example.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All good things.
All good things. And that is lavender. Lavender is something that the French love. If you've been in France, you will know that they have it in soaps. And
yeah.
Yeah. They have it in, there is some ice cream in different, if you go in Provence, you probably find ice cream with lavender, scented ice cream, for example. Yeah. So that's something that I use, in a bath. You can have a bath and use 2 to 3 drops of essential oil of lavender, and you will find yourself more calm at the end of your bath, kind of like unwind yourself. And also, I use it also for sleeping. You can do a sachet and put, they also sell like little bags with buds in them, and you can put it near your bed, your pillow, and just go to bed. And it's really give you the scent, just relax you and help you go to bed easily. That's a natural way of doing it as well. Yeah. And the other way I use it is in cooking, and I have a recipe. I use it with beets, the beets, the root of the beets. And so, yeah.
Interesting.
So what I do is you take the root, the beetroot, and sometimes I encourage people to get the organic ones, because it doesn't have all the pesticide and things like that. So it's much better for the body, because we're talking about, really medicine here at this point. It's not really just about, I'm just eating to get, So it's really medicine here and cooking, right? So you want the organic ones, and you can have about 4 of them, for example, and you cut the tops and you put them in like a wax paper. I like it better than aluminum, Okay. It's those paper that you cook with.
Yeah.
And you put them on top, and you can put 1 per, because you need to close them at the end. So you're going to put them there, but you wash them already, right? And you cut the top, because usually there is like little greens on top. And you can actually eat the greens as well. So don't toss the greens. Chop them off and, put them with your pasta or something, when you're making the sauce. But you will do that, and you will sprinkle the maybe I would say 5 little buds. It doesn't take a lot because it's very fragrant, right? Lavender. So like 2 or 3 buds of the lavender on top of it, and you put salt and you put some oil there. I would say about like a teaspoon per beets, depending on how big your beets are, medium size, 1 teaspoon. If it's a little bit smaller, then half a teaspoon, for example. And you close them and you put them in your oven in like a Jeep pan, like you can take a baking pan, for example, and put them in there and let them cook for an hour, 335 degrees Fahrenheit. And sometimes it will take more than an hour. If you put a knife in there and it's not going in easily, then it's not ready. But basically, when it's ready, then you will remove the skin with a knife. You peel the skin, and then you chop them up into like little square, and put your salad dressing on top, and I usually like to put some onions in there.
That sounds good.
It's really good, really tasty, very French. So that's another way that you could use lavender.
Wow. Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, I like the smell of lavender. I have like lavender baby body wash for my kids, but I had no idea that there were so many, benefits, both for physical and mental health benefits of lavender. That's really good to know.
Yeah, very good. And I also, how do you call it? What else I was going to say? Yes, you can also, if you like to garden, you can also buy the English lavender, because it's actually the best for, you can eat the greens of the leaves of the lavender, but the tastier one are the English lavender. The other one are not tasty, so you won't like them. But the English lavender one, you can put them in salads. And toss them in salads.
Okay.
Oui.
That's good to know. My husband and I like to plant a big garden in the spring, so I'm going to have to add English lavender to our list of seeds to buy for next year.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Do that.
I absolutely will. Well, Marina, thank you so much for joining me today. You have given me so many different things to think about and to try. I'm excited to try your beet recipe, and definitely encouraged by just the reminder to kind of pull back on my own social media usage. That was a reminder I for sure needed, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. So thank you so much for all that you've shared with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Before we wrap this up, if you had to leave our community with one final message or quick parting words, what would they be?
It would be, don't reinvent the wheel. If someone has a way to do something, that's like I shared, right? I went through the same, stress and I was like, okay, I need to change things. So take from, the experience of the people who have gone before you and don't reinvent the wheel. That's what I'll say.
Absolutely. There is just so much wisdom already out there that it is worth, I think, all of our time to just kind of do a little research, do a little digging, and learn what other people have already learned, because there's so much out there that we can tap into.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again. And as always, thanks to those who carved out a few minutes of their day to sit and watch this video. Stay tuned for more encouraging and uplifting videos coming your way.
You've been listening to the No Labels, No Limits podcast with best-selling author, change agent, and strategic vision coach, Sarah Box. You can grab the show notes and find out how to work with Sarah at sarahbox.com/No Labels, No Limits podcast. We'd love this podcast to reach as many people as possible. So please remember to rate, leave a 5-star review, and share the podcast with someone you think would get value from this conversation. Until next time, keep taking those daily action steps to align your purpose to your principles and achieve your goals in business and life.